for any of our services and pay no installation, plus a chance to win cash prizes every week. Existing subscribers pay off your outstanding balance and you too will qualify to win. Sign up, pay up, and win, 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 because life is better with mopping.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble. When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no place to lay.
Hey, Mr. Nacio Fontaine. And then Dangerous. Good afternoon, Nacio. I know you're always locked into the big station. Nacio and Company. Good afternoon. Somebody says my condolences to the Festina family. Gene was like my big brother. He was my neighbor in Marsac. Very nice policeman who would be hanging out with the boys while helping them. He never stopped coming to Marsac, even while he was a prosecutor. So happy I had the opportunity to speak with him a couple of years ago while I was in Marsac. May his soul rest in peace.
Q, top of the hour news. As it happens, when it happens, wherever it happens. Local, regional, and global. Only on Q95, the big station. Q95DA.com. Right on Q, the big station.
Welcome to Q95's news at the top of the hour, brought to you compliments Burton & Company and Digicel. Details coming up.
A top New York designer said to me, "Honey, it's all about lighting. What lights you use, where you place them." The electric shop has in stock wall and ceiling fixtures, tabletop lamps, floor standing lamps. We stock a wide assortment of energy-saving and LED bulbs to complement. Set the tone and ambiance in your living space. Come to the Electric Shop, corner Independence Street and Kennedy Avenue. Burton and Company. Come see what's new. What's new. What's new.
Economist Dr. Thompson Fontaine says the Dominican economy will continue to suffer as he expressed no hope in the upcoming budget. Budget Day has been set for July 27th, and Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has expressed his excitement, saying it will target a number of areas critical to the country. But Dr. Fontaine says Prime Minister Skerrit lacks the competence to build this economy. He says the opposition is very much concerned over the state of the Dominican economy. Jamaica's summer arrival figures are shaping up to be the highest on record, according to Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett. Visitor arrivals have been at an all-time high since the start of the year, with the country welcoming a historic 1 million tourists in June. And Bartlett says if the arrival numbers are sustained, the final figures will take the industry to new heights. And the UK and EU are still at odds over citizens' rights and the amount the UK will pay to leave the bloc at the end of the second week of Brexit talks. EU negotiator Michael Barnier said the UK had not been clear enough about where it stands on these issues, and that was hampering progress. UK Brexit Secretary David Davis said the negotiations on the so-called divorce bill had been robust. He said progress had been made, but both sides needed to show flexibility. And that's your news at the top of the hour, brought to you compliments Burton & Company and Digicel. I am Lakisha Lavasier. Join us again at 2 p.m. for another news at the top of the hour.
Q, top of the hour news. As it happens, when it happens, wherever it happens. Local, regional, and global. Only on Q95, the big station. Q95DA.com. Right on Q, the big station. Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly sports show on Q95. The entire Caribbean is listening to Sports Wrap on the big station every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. with renowned veteran sports commentator and retired magistrate Ozzie Lewis, famous cricketer and sports analyst Lockhart Sibo Sebastian, and national athletic coach Emmanuel Loblack. Sports Wrap, your one-stop shop for unique, inclusive, in-depth analysis of local, regional, and international sports. Bringing you the best in sports debate and up-to-the-minute information and statistics. Sports Wrap, every Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. 2 exciting hours of pure, exciting sports talk. The experts are in the house. Sports Wrap, every Thursday evening, only on the big station. Only on Q95. Lock it in.
You don't have money, but you want to score.
You can't wait till month end to draw.
You have a little money, but you want more.
You need a loan, what you waiting for?
But I need to buy a weed for my head.
I use the money there to buy some bread.
I don't want food, I want the money instead.
Looks like you want to run me dread.
Go buy fast cash. Faster, smarter, and better.
Go buy fast cash and get a loan.
Your man don't give you money, not to sweat now.
Fast cash right there to help you.
Go buy fast cash.
Visit our Rosa or Portsmouth locations or contact us at 448-3278.
Go buy fast cash.
ISA Trading Limited has just received a shipment of top quality instant whole milk powder in 25 kilogram bags at the best price in town. Special price only $276 per 25 kilogram bag and wholesale price $290. Visit ISA Trading Limited Wholesale at 106 Independence Street or check out our distribution center in Canefield today.
big news this afternoon, of course, we can report that former DPP Jean Festina died at his home this morning. Carlisle John Baptist broke the news, and he's on the line with me. Spoke to some family members, I assume. Carlisle, you have the sad news this afternoon. Tell us about that.
Yes, Matt, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to your many listeners. Sad news indeed, the death of a former Director of Public Prosecutions, Mr. Jean Festina, was a very close friend of mine, I must say. I want to extend the sympathies to the entire family, Judith and the rest of the family. Mr. Festina, we all know, was battling cancer for the last few years. He was terminally ill, but a man who continued to speak his mind, very, very open. We had a few interviews, the last one being in April of 2017. He spoke with me. And, of course, we know that he was also a former member of the police force. He left at the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Police. He became the first Dominican as a first police officer to be called to the bar, to do a law degree successfully, and was called to the bar. He served in Antigua and Barbuda as DPP for a number of years. And we know that lately he was in some sort of issues with the government, where he was asking for pension and gratuity, and the government did say that they did not owe him any pension or gratuity or what he was asking for. And he died stating that it is for a fact that government owed him. And so I don't know what will become of that. Although he did say to me that some time ago he did get some assistance from the government for his medical bills. Government said they were not owing him, and so they were willing to assist him since he was terminally ill. Many of us will remember Mr. Festina, a no-nonsense individual, one who would speak his mind, and very forthright individual, I must say. My various interactions with him at the office of the DPP, there are those who worked with him who will attest to the fact that he was always willing to impart knowledge and never kept anything to himself. And one also would challenge the status quo and was not at all afraid of taking decisions as Director of Public Prosecutions.
Carlisle John Baptist, I want to share with our many, many, many listeners at this time. The last time we heard the voice of Mr. Jean Festina on April 25th. We'll share some of that with you this afternoon. You can stay on the line.
Okay, we're speaking with former Director of Public Prosecutions, Mr. Jean Festina. Mr. Festina, we had an issue with you as it relates to pension, etc., and gratuity. We did a story some time ago. We have not been hearing much about that. Can you please tell us where is the matter as we speak right now?
Well, all those matters must be dealt with, I would imagine, expeditiously. I've been looking forward, but I've extended my patience and looking forward to see where the powers that be have done anything. I have engaged an association of retired police officers who are quite aware of the circumstances. There are other police officers who are encountering near similar circumstances. There is a lady couple who is a lawyer in the police force. So the police force may be well equipped with people with the necessary qualifications, since a couple can be a lawyer and that is allowed to continue. Now back to the question you asked me. I am waiting, I cannot rush it. I thought the powers that be would give instructions to whoever to take certain course of action. You know, and interestingly, as I speak to you, what comes to mind, so many things, but this one must be mentioned. It's since 92 or 94, I've been applying every year consistently for the same issue. And you'd think by now somebody would like to clear up that issue. They're just not doing anything about it, so I am not one who relish in contentious issues. We've had, as I mentioned, the Association of Police Officers who have taken a non-contentious approach to the whole issue. When that fails, and if it fails, I've also consulted the services or lawyer. It has been mentioned before. No point in Robin mentioning it again. And I am just waiting. Nothing has changed. So I have given my service over a period of 46 years. I have never worked at Astafans or Nassif or anywhere else. So if you want to say I don't qualify because I give 19 years in the department instead of giving 20 years, it is the government who promoted me. And how could 46 years be allowed to go unnoticed? So am I really getting to the situation where, as a young boy, you used to find policemen being thrown stones at, and it attract the name, old police, Missy Maltravai, you know, and that kind of ridicule. We're in the year 2017, and it still continues. So I'm waiting. Some things have been done to alleviate my plight, but my main issue, as you'd appreciate, is my application for pension gratuity. It's either somebody says, go ahead, take a course of action and deal this matter, or these are the reasons why we are not giving those instructions. A, B, C, D, E. But I've never heard that at all. I've never heard why I shouldn't be paid. I'd like to suggest, you know, that we meet my non-contentious association approach. Let us meet with the AG or whoever is responsible or can be delegated by the Prime Minister and see how we can arrive at a makeable situation.
Rest in peace, Gene Festina, dead, died at his home at 10:30 this morning. Kala, are you still there?
Yes, Matt, I'm very much there.
Yes, very, very interesting. And of course, as I said, may his soul rest in peace. And we will extend our deepest sympathies to his family and friends.
Yes, indeed. May soul rest in peace. And like I said earlier on, I want to extend my deepest sympathies to Judith and the extended family. You know, like I said also, Mr. Festina, you know, was a forthright individual and one who has served Dominica very, very well. Served during the heavy years when we had serious issues back then, the Black Power movement, etc. And he served as a police officer, moving up to the ranks of assistant superintendent of police, and then educating himself, becoming the first police officer to obtain a law degree, being called to the bar in Dominica. Also served as DPP in Antigua and Barbuda.
All right, John Baptist, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm being joined at this time. I know a lot of people extending sympathies at this time by Dr. Thompson Fontaine, who I, of course, promised to have a conversation with this afternoon, and he died at 10:30 this morning, so you would understand why we, of course, chose to speak about him at this time. But Dr. Thompson Fontaine, good afternoon to you.
Matt, a very good afternoon to you, and of course my condolences to Mrs. Festina and the family, the passing of the husband, and certainly our condolences to the family.
Well, you know, some people do not realize that the Lord above giveth and taketh, huh?
Absolutely.
We have to come to that reality.
Yes, indeed. It's very sobering reality, I would say.
It is. It's very sobering reality. And I'm going to play some of that song again, and then we'll come back to Dr. Thompson Fontaine speaking a little about the economy in South Sudan, it is. All right, we come back right after this. It's a debt that we all have to pay. The favorite song of my friend Frederick Barron. Good afternoon. Again, we're here until 2 o'clock. From 2, we move to Jolly's Pharmacy. It's Customer Appreciation Week, and we're spending some time with Jolly's this week. But Thompson Fontaine again, welcome.
Matt, it's my pleasure. Certainly happy to be here this afternoon.
It's always a pleasure. I was said to you in recent times, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about your engagement in South Sudan. I wanted a little time to talk to you about that. But how has it been?
Matt, very, very interesting. It is one of those things where, you feel that you are really making a contribution to humanity in a way that, when I was a child, I would dream of impacting lives. And I think, in a way, that particular assignment has allowed me, given me that opportunity. And in a lot of ways, it is one of those assignments that, if it is done well and if everything works, that it could have a tremendous impact on millions of people. We're talking about
somewhat different from the IMF.
Very different in the sense that now you get down into the details. Like with the IMF, it was just you'd fly into the country, you'd spend 3 weeks, talk to the officials, then get out. There it's different. In a way, I feel like I am taking on the burden, as of the country to some extent. And one of the things that I've started is to do a 5-year development plan for the country. And that is a massive undertaking. But in a way, you feel that you're part of, because you want it to succeed. You want the people of South Sudan to succeed. You want the country to move forward. And it's a different type of assignment, certainly a different type of assignment. And it's in a way, it's been very sad because, as you know, Sudan is a country in conflict. They've been fighting for a while, and they have a massive refugee crisis in the country right now.
Is that slowing you down?
Well, it is creating some problems because a lot of resources that otherwise would have been spent on building the economy has to be diverted. The U.S. alone spends $2 billion a year on humanitarian crisis, taking care of refugees, providing for the children.
2 million, you said?
We have
2 billion?
2 billion, yeah, $2 billion. I mean, imagine if they had $2 billion that they could get this money, to use in the economy, but a lot of it has to go to humanitarian because a number of population of 12 million people, about 5 million have been displaced. You're talking about 5 million refugees, individuals who've left the country and fled into Uganda or into Kenya and neighboring countries. And it's a huge humanitarian crisis that the UN has the biggest that the UN is dealing with currently. And in a way, it's sad because you see a lot of the internally displaced people. You see some of them in the city, and you know that they've probably lost their parents through the fighting. You have a number of orphans and so on. So it has a kind of, if you like, a human toll to it, a very human toll, because you see this suffering, you understand the difficulties that, these people are actually going through, and you want to succeed. You want it to be where, you do a job along with the other professionals that are there to do a job that will make the country better and will take away some of that suffering and hardships that the people are actually facing. So it's an interesting challenge. It is one which I think I'm well equipped to deal with, and I've certainly gotten the if you like the buy-in of the authorities. Certainly they appreciate and value.
Who do you work directly with?
Okay.
As it relates to the authority of government, yes.
Okay, I need to explain that because I heard a lot of people who were talking, a lot of people who knows everything about nothing.
Your critics.
Talking about, I was working for the most corrupt government and so on. Let me just give a little bit of background very quickly to put it in perspective. The South Sudan, it was formerly part of Sudan. Just part of Sudan. You have the very Arabic-speaking northern part of Sudan, and the southern part that's more like the black, because the northern part is some lighter-skinned individuals and so on, and Arabic-speaking and Muslim, and the southern part, which was Christian, black, and they had conflict for years. In 1988, they started a war of independence against South Sudan. So the South wanted to get their independence from Sudan. That was granted in 2011. So they became the newest, South Sudan became the newest country, the newest nation in 2011 when they got their independence. So they got their independence from Sudan, but unfortunately in 2013, a civil war broke out within South Sudan. So the same guys who were fighting Sudan, they were now fighting amongst themselves. In 2015, they came together and put together a peace agreement in August of 2015. And as part of this agreement, an organization was formed to monitor and evaluate the peace agreement, as well as a government of national unity that brought together the former warring parties together. Now, this committee that was formed to monitor the peace agreement is called the JMEC, Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Committee. This is headed by the former president of Botswana, Festus Mogai, incidentally the only African leader to have received the Kuhn Award, which is given to African leaders who are free of corruption and who've really contributed to the country. So I am working directly with him, with Festus Mogai, who is the head of this Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Committee. Now, the peace agreement has several chapters. And it has, for example, a chapter dealing with the humanitarian crisis for the refugees, one dealing with security that will bring in the UN forces and so on, and one dealing with the economy. So I'm responsible for the chapter dealing with the economy. And within that were several recommendations that were made for the Government of National Unity that they needed to implement during the course of this peace agreement, with the idea that in 2018 there would be free and fair elections in the country. So this transnational government had basically a 3-year period to work, within which they would implement all of those measures within the peace agreement, including an entire
you see that becoming a reality?
Economy. Now, what happened was, that was in 2015, but last year, in 2016, in July of last year, fighting broke out again in Juba, and that kind of set everything back. So when I went in there a couple of months ago, they had not done much, because obviously they were just getting out of this last round of fighting, and a lot of the country is still unsettled and so on. But basically, my responsibility then is to advise the government with this joint monitoring and evaluation committee headed by the former president of Botswana. The deputy is the former head of the military in Kenya, who is the deputy, because there's a big security aspect to the whole thing that has to deal with the UN, because the UN is there actively with a UN peacekeeping force as well, and is just so basically working in trying to get all of these things implemented. Having to do, for example, with how they would handle the oil. Because one of the contentious issues that arose after the war was that Sudan has oil. It's an oil-rich country, but all that oil resided in South Sudan. The oil fields were physically in South Sudan, but the refineries and so on were in Northern Sudan, because the port is in Northern Sudan. South Sudan is landlocked, but North Sudan had the port in Khartoum that will export the oil. So you have that, how do you negotiate? What kind of deal do you come up with to share these resources? Because Khartoum says, well, because we have the pipeline, because we are the gateway to exporting this oil, we need to get our share as well. So all of these issues, and also how do you build up the revenue resources? How do you collect taxes? Basic institutions needs to be set up. Legislation needs to be passed. So in a way, it's a lot of moving pieces. And on top of all of that, you have the security issue. So within that JMIC now, you have several advisors. So I am on the economy part, but you also have the security advisors, 2 from the US and 1 from Uganda. You have the security part, you have the humanitarian aspect of it, those who look after the refugees and so on and get the help that they need and all the rest of it. So we all work together in trying to move this peace agreement forward. And that is where most of the activity is, and that's where most of the deliberations take place, the meetings take place, and seeing how we can actually move this agenda and in the process really get the country out. So because it is still a conflict zone, it complicates matters, because even when we come to discuss the budget, for example, obviously the government's main concern is still with security, so they have to divert a lot of their resources towards the military. They have a very large military. You have to be buying weapons, you have to be, so it's always a constant battle, how do you apportion your resources, limited resources, the different countries are given. And the important thing about this country as well, Matt, which I should also point, is that the world has a stake in it, in the sense that the peace agreement was guaranteed by the neighboring countries in Africa, but in addition by the US, the UK, the Chinese, and the European Union. So they all came together and co-signed, if you like, this peace agreement as guarantors. They call them the guarantors of the agreement. And it is in that route that I was able to come in, because through the UK government, as their contribution towards this peace agreement, that I was able to come in and work on the economic aspect.
You're going to be there for a full year?
A full year, in the first instance. The thinking is that it will most likely go up until elections, because we're looking to have elections next year in 2018, towards the end of 2018. So at the very least, it should go up towards election, but the need is such that it most likely will go beyond that.
Of course, many want to congratulate you, while many are asking questions, Dr. Thompson Fontaine. Are you not worried about your place in Dominica? We have a par rep who represents you in the Riviera Civic area who's now ill, and many things may happen as a result if he doesn't get better. Are you not worried about that?
Matt, I'm not worried at all. I'm not worried at all. My commitment, as I've said, I'm committed to Dominica. I have an opportunity to work on a world stage and to contribute to another country, which I am doing. When the Dominican public are ready for me to contribute to Dominica, I will do so. We have
a budget coming up.
We have a budget coming up, and I will be contributing to the budget. Probably not being physically present. I will not be in Parliament to contribute, but my contribution will be heard. It will be. I will certainly be contributing. We have been meeting with the opposition, United Workers' Party, Team Dominica. We've been meeting to fine-tune our contributions to the budget, so that will find its way in there. So in a way, I'm not concerned. When I checked, last elections were due in 2019. So I'm guessing that is still when elections will be held in Dominica. But I'm certainly looking forward to the opportunity to represent the people of Grand Formant John Riviera Civic in Parliament someday. As you know, I was cheated out of that opportunity the last time. Looking to do it again next time, but in the meantime, life goes on, and there's a lot of work to be done in South Sudan, and I'm happy that I'm able to.
You've gotten updates on your power rep and his condition.
Yes, I have. I have actually been inquiring about him. Very concerned about him. Obviously, he's still a young man, and it's really worrisome when somebody so young has to go through those kinds of health issues. I'm understanding that he's doing a lot better those days. We've been told that he's actually speaking again, and he has movement and so we're very hopeful that he will have a full and complete recovery.
I'm worried though. I may be concerned. Why isn't the government giving an update? Because a lot of people are asking questions. You'll understand the constituents very concerned, especially those who have voted for their parliament.
Absolutely, and they have every right to be concerned and to know about him. But I think that's always a decision that the family takes as to how much information they need to give up, but I think it's always good for there to be updates, to let people know things are going around. Continue to pray, continue to lend support, and hopefully he will pull through.
All right, well, thank you very much. If you want to ask Mr. Thompson Fontaine any question at this time, how concerned, I just heard you in the news, how concerned, I think I asked you that question too yesterday on the telephone conversation, are you about our economy?
Man, like you said, this economy has to be among the worst in the region. I mean, all the countries are going through their problems, but ours is the worst. Only because we have this tremendous rate of joblessness, and it is always very concerning when you have just scores and scores of young people, several hundred of them leaving school this year, June, July, and nothing to do, nothing to look forward to. I mean, you can imagine the kind of, what that does to the psyche of a young person. To figure that there is absolutely no prospects. They can't even write an application because they know that it's useless. There are hardly any openings, hardly any new jobs. But in a way, the legacy of this government will be the one through the NEP that actually created jobs for people to cut grass on the road. Now, this to me is not to bring down this job. All jobs are worthwhile. But in terms of creating jobs, you would have liked to see better jobs being created. And I was listening to a number of individuals who were giving their impressions about the budget. And the thing that kept coming up over and over again is we need jobs, we need to work, and that I think is one of the biggest concerns that I have, that this is not addressed at all in the budget. I mean, it's okay to give, to give support to the elderly. It's okay to give support to the disadvantaged in society. That's fine, but you need to create jobs for your people.
In the environment that we live in, I'm hearing a lot, and I have to be frank and say I've heard it. But a lot of people saying, where are the alternatives? presented by the opposition united.
Well, Matt, I want them to listen very, very carefully to the budget debate because they will be hearing alternatives. We have decided that we are going to be pushing forward our own idea of where we see the country going and where we believe the country can get. And some of these ideas we will certainly be hearing.
You're still optimistic that we can get there?
But we can, but we need, it has to start with a regime change. It will not happen under this regime. After 17 years, they're not going to change. This government is not going to change after 17 years. They've put basically all of their eggs in the CBI basket. And that is not going to change for the same very simple reason. The CBI basket, a lot of holes in that basket. The holes are getting bigger every day. The water is streaming out of this basket.
It's bigger.
And it's bigger. It is streaming out. This is, in other words, CBI is on life support as far as I see it now. CBI is on life support. This might very well be the last budget where we see CBI play such a dominant role. What concerns me though is that moving forward, in the absence of CBI, what do you have? And that is where I want the Dominican public to listen, because we'll be letting them know what up as a party, what we would have done differently to move this country around, because we have always been concerned about job creation. And if you recall correctly, it was because of United Workers' Party's forcefulness on creating 5,000 new jobs that the government came up at the last minute with this NEP, which is not well thought out, which is fraught with all kinds of difficulties and is not working. But we believe as a party that we can do better. And if we had been entrusted with government in 2014, Dominica would have been a different place. I have absolutely no doubt about that.
All right. Let me ask you a question on behalf of somebody who just sent me a WhatsApp message here. Here's a question, a deep question. The economy of South Sudan is one of the world's weakest and most underdeveloped, with South Sudan having little existing infrastructure and the highest maternal mortality and female illiteracy rates in the world as of 2011. GDP growth rate 6.3%. Annual change 2015. Ask your guest, meaning Thompson Fontaine, what approach, if any, has he suggested to his new employer to mitigate the uncontrolled debt that they're in right now? Very deep question.
Very deep question. And Matt, yes, it is true that it is one of the really struggling countries in the world, and it's not for lack of resources, because like I said, they're an oil-rich country. They have some of the better crude oil in the world. And so it's a question of, one, developing their infrastructure. So there is a need for new investments, for example, within the oil sector, for the building of refineries within South Sudan, and also exploration of new wells that has to be done. But importantly is, just as the person said, in terms of the structures, a lot of things are missing. So one of the key areas that the peace agreement focused on, and one of the things that I'm working very hard on now, is the setting up of a revenue authority, an authority that will be able to collect, because we estimate that 80% of duties are not being collected currently. And 80% and up to probably 90% of taxes government should be collecting is not being collected, because the infrastructure is simply not in place to do that. So if you're able to build up this infrastructure, build a revenue authority, and begin to tap into sources of non-oil revenue that are available, then you can certainly do that. And there is also a great deal of goodwill on the part of the international community to give assistance to the country, but they're saying that they will not do anything in any significant way until the conflict is ended. So
security is their concern.
Security is their concern at this time. In my discussions with the UN embassy, with the U.S. embassy, with the U.S. ambassador and the different ambassadors, British and the different individuals there, they're all saying the same thing, that it has to be a situation where they will contribute towards the economy when the conflict is over, because now all of the resources are going into, as I said, just one country spending $2 billion just on humanitarian efforts. So imagine if you're able now to relocate, bring people back into the country. South Sudan also has some of the best lands for agriculture, some of the most fertile lands, and agriculture has taken a backseat because of the conflict. So if you're able to end the conflict, you're able to develop agriculture, they can then feed their neighbors, around them. And so there is a lot that needs to be done. It will not happen overnight. It's a work in progress, and that is why now the emphasis is on stopping and ending the conflict.
Here's another question. Why are you helping develop the economy in South Sudan, and you're not doing that in Dominica?
Madam, I've not been asked in Dominica. I've said it every time. I've been in Dominica since 2010, basically.
Nobody ever asked you a question?
Nobody asked me a question. The government has not sought my advice or my expertise in that regard. And I've always said I'm available. I'm being paid for it overseas. I'm offering it free in Dominica.
Yes, a current question here. I think the Prime Minister is being elected chairperson of the ECCB for the next year. Tomorrow, you will be given that appointment as chair. I think it rotates every year. How significant do you think that is?
Matt, well, I don't expect anything to change, really. As you said, it's rotating chairmanship every year, a different minister. I don't see anything. I mean, the EU dollar, the EC dollar, is not under any kind of pressure. So it's not like you would have to deal with any issues of devaluation.
Any significant
issues? No. I think the EC currency, by virtue of the very good economy in St. Kitts.
But he has that very important position, we will admit, for the next year. Would you have any advice going forward?
Well, the advice for him, which I'm sure he has received already, is to continue to safeguard the strength of the EC dollar, and make sure that whatever policies are taken on board, that the strength of the EC dollar is sustained. And it's really a good feeling, Matt, when you can go to any bank in Dominica and just purchase any currency you want without any difficulties. In Barbados, for example, they're having some serious issues. I was just in Barbados, and some very serious issues there in Barbados with currency. They have a serious problem with their reserves. So they're limiting how much you can actually take out of the country. They have imposed a tax. Every time you withdraw currency or you purchase, you have to pay a commission of 2.5%. So it is kind of good to know that within the OECS, we can in fact still continue to have that privilege by any amount of currency that you want to travel with, no questions asked. But a lot of it has to do with the strength of the economies, not in Dominica, sadly. And that's one of the things about being in a union, in that the stronger ones pull up the weaker ones. So Dominica has been weak for over 10, 15 years.
You wrote your thesis, if I remember, on the ECCB.
Not on ECCB, on currency crisis.
Currency crisis.
I did it on basically on the different, trying to do it between the developed economies and the developing economies. Yeah, so it was not on the ECCB specifically.
All right, thank you. Let's take a phone call.
Mr. Belke.
Uh-huh.
What's up?
Good.
You need to top me up.
All right, sir.
Doc, blessings to you, and Matt, blessings to you.
Uh-huh.
I stood somewhere yesterday and I said, but look, Doc passed by. I said, no man, I know Doc. Doc brother, that man. He said, Doc, you was on island yesterday.
Yes, that's good. That's correct.
I thought you went back.
Today, yes.
He is on his way out.
Okay. Doc, does that position have to do anything with your economic ability or skills?
Yes, it's based on that. Absolutely based on that.
You, I'm referring to Roosevelt Skerritt.
Oh no. Oh, you mean the position of the chairmanship? No, it's automatic. As the prime minister, as the minister of finance, yeah, it's automatic.
Yeah, listening to news and everything, I just understand it's a rotating thing. So even if the prime minister is not an economist, he's not versed in economics, he's going to be given the position because it has been rotated.
That's correct.
To shout about, because the brother is the Minister of Finance of Dominica.
Absolutely.
And you see we're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yes.
But I need to say a few things, Matt, quickly. Doc, the whole question of Dominica need your expertise and you're elsewhere. after all. The person is not living on island. My brethren, everybody with some profession or in a professional field, whether economics or engineering or architecture or anything, if you're not linking up to those guys, you're going to suffer and die. If you're not ready, you're better off dead. You have heard the saying, and Doc, once he was used, but just because he have a different views, based on the trend he's seeing that this guy is just like a no-no, then all of a sudden they start to attack him and, try to drive him out. It's a phasing process. They just frustrate you until you have to run elsewhere. So that doesn't mean the brother is taking his expertise and bring elsewhere. As he said, he was offering it for free. And now he's getting paid overseas. What he's going to do, stay Dominican, keep begging? The whole thing with that brother from Grand Fond, Ivor Stevenson is his name, Doc?
Yes.
Matt, the laws of coincidence is not consistent. And I will not elaborate on it. I will not expound on it. But I have my suspicions about many things. I just let them be. But trust me, there is something so wrong about the timing of the brother falling ill. And I heard many things. And I pray that he get well so maybe he could live to tell. And the other thing, Matt, Doc, when I listen to the ghost, saying the boy was hiding somewhere in the Caribbean, it cannot be South Sudan he was. How comes he back in Dominica already? A former educator. And my brother, I feel sorry for Dominica. When we can lose these brains, the brain drain continue. We have lost so much and we are still phasing them out. Look at Dr. Thompson Fontaine. So really and truly, it is sad when you have people that are supposed to, educate the people. They have heard brainwashing and, the nasty little stigmatization and the prejudice and preferences, and the country is going to hell. So, my brethren, when you go back I wish you a safe journey, and I wish you a safe stay, because I know it's a trouble zone. May the ancestors guide and protect you, and bless you, and I give thanks to you for service to country and humanity.
All right, let's take our final phone call, and we'll allow Dr. Thompson Fontaine to wrap up. And I'll end up with Bishop Miles here. We'll have that discussion tomorrow. Bishop Miles here, calling on the politicians to stop the politicking. Hello, talk to me.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Yes, quickly.
Good afternoon to Dr. Thompson Fontaine, a real
yes.
in the house.
Yes, good afternoon.
Matt, two things I have my observation. Matt, there is no way you can compare anywhere close chairman of the ECCU with that of the function.
ECCB, sorry.
It's nowhere near, it's not close. The other thing, Matt, is that I heard the Honorable Prime Minister jeering Thompson Fontaine. Oh, he didn't get a job in the United Kingdom. He didn't get one in Canada. He didn't get one in America. He's in South Sudan. But the population of South Sudan is 24 plus million people. Roosevelt's cabinet governs a community that is smaller than a sub-community in the county where I live. Dominica has less people than the little sub-community in the county where I live. So I don't know how they could make that kind of stretch, Matt. Furthermore, Dr. Thompson's position, to me, I equate it with that of the Chancellor of the Exchequer of the United Kingdom or the Secretary of the Treasury of the United States. That is the level of the job that he's doing. That's my comparison with it. So when them coming out with news, oh, he's going to be thing and trying to make it look as though that function, apart from the stability that is maintained over the years of our currency, Matt, and it had nothing to do with this Labour Party government, nothing at all, Matt. When they went to office, they met it there. That is the only thing they have not been able to dismantle, Matt, or disrupt. That is because you have other leaders and you have competent professionals at the helm who run that stuff. You had the late Dwight Venner, who for years maintained that currency stable, Matt. Although I always claim that he failed to regulate and supervise the sector. And so while he's talking about he's chairman of the ECCU, Matt, he should also be telling us why is it that our banks are under this de-risking pressure? Why is it, Matt, that we have been categorized as this money laundering region? Why is it, Matt, that our banking system, all the indigenous banks in the OHS have failed, Matt? every one of them.
I'll tell you what, these are questions Mr. Scary can answer. I can't. I really can't at this time. Matt, somebody says again, ask your guest, has he done a comprehensive assessment on when the economy of South Sudan will break even and when you see the economy exacting a surplus? What year has he predicted financial stabilization of that economy?
Well, Matt, as I indicated at the start, we've just now started the 5-year plan. So that's an ongoing process. That is something that we'll get a better handle on. I cannot say at this point. Obviously, there's so many variables to consider. You're talking about having peace, talking about several pieces of legislation that needs to be passed. You're talking about getting institutions in place. So it's difficult. It's difficult to say, to give a time when it will happen. But I'm confident that it will happen. I keep telling the people of South Sudan when I meet them and in any forum that I go that I'm very hopeful. I have seen the potential that the country has, and I believe that with peace that the country will move forward and will become a prosperous country.
Thank you very much. We have to kind of wrap it up at this time. It's already 1:50. I told you that we have to go to Jolly's Pharmacy. I'll be there on the live broadcast. But I want to wish you a safe journey to South Sudan. How long you'll be there, and when will you be back?
Matt, I'll be there for a few months. We are now doing the revitalization of the peace agreement. So it's going to take on. We're trying to bring the parties back around the table again. So we're looking forward to some exciting months. So that might disrupt my regular schedule. So we'll see how that goes. But Madam, thank you for having me, certainly. And let me just encourage, we just very quickly, if I can get a chance to say this, we're having a fundraiser for a young man, Troy Pascal, who broke his leg, and we're asking the people of River Zurich and surrounding areas to come out in support. That's happening this Saturday at IBEX, DJ Ska and Backyard Sound. So great time to come together, meet people, and then support a good cause there in River Zurich.
Thank you so much.
All right, Matt,
safe journey, huh?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're not fearful at this time?
Matt, I'm not. Actually, I have my body armor on.
Really? Yes. You should send us a picture sometime.
Yes, indeed.
All right, well, take care.
All right, thanks.
And again, safe journey home, huh?
Yes, thank you.
And not your home, but South Sudan. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's listen at this time to Bishop Malzier, who made a very, interesting statement at the funeral service of N.A.R. Ducre yesterday. Everybody's talking about that. Let's listen. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
In my limited knowledge of the politics of the days of N.A.R. Ducre, some of which I learned from my reading of Urban Andre's biographies of Frank Barron and E.O. Leblanc, I got the distinct impression that it was a time when politics in Dominica was an exciting and interesting thing to follow and to be part of, notwithstanding the economic and social challenges of the time. Those were the days when a parliamentary debate was followed by many, not simply for the issues, but for the theatrics. By this, I am not limiting the capacity of our people to a high level of political discourse. I'm only saying here that there was a time when politicians could deal with difficult and serious issues with a certain lightness of spirit. It was a time when opposing parties dealt with the differences in the parliamentary chamber, but hobnobbed with each other in the social and communal setting. It was not too long ago that many party faithfuls followed political rallies for the lime and the good time. Sometimes they returned home not even knowing what was said on the platform. But today instead, we see a display of deep animosity between politicians and among their faithful followers. Why should families and colleagues remain so divided for years after general elections? The passing of N.A.R. Ducre begs for the words of the Trinidadian calypsonian Richard Nappy Myers in his song, Bring back the old time days. Bring back them old time ways. Bring back the old time days. Bring back them old time ways. You will agree with me, my dear friends, that politics in Dominica and in the Caribbean in general, and maybe in the world at large, has become much too tense. I remember the days in St. Lucia when we looked forward to the parliamentary debates just for the laughter. I recall one day when one of the Bousquet brothers was in contempt of Parliament and was asked to apologize to one of the ministers on the opposing side. In his absolute simplicity, he said, "Madam Speaker, I apologize, but I say it already." With this utterance, the entire Parliament were under the desks with uncontrollable laughter. I am of the view that we have gotten much too serious in our politics, and that is killing us. I have often heard of the likes of Mike Douglas and his gift of oratory, and his friendly parliamentary combats with his beloved friend, the late Maho. Those were rather interesting days, I'm sure, on which one can reminisce. That was the spirit of the days of N.A.N. Dupree. And we have every reason to sing again. Bring back the old time days. Bring back them old time ways. I know everything must change, but still I love them old time days. Bring back the old time days. Bring back them old time ways. On the spiritual religious level, I am sure we have a great deal to learn from N.A.N. Dupree. From the little that I know, I could not but be impressed by his regular but gentle presence in the church. No one can doubt that he was a fervent, practicing Catholic Christian. He was a regular communicant, but even more importantly, he went to sacramental confession on an equally regular basis. What a lesson for us all. What a lesson for a politician. This was indicative of his keen awareness of his limitations and frailty. It was testament of his realization that perfection is not a de facto human attribute. It is rather something to be sought after with constancy and determination. It is so easy for us to believe that we have the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help us God. Truth, my dear friend, is to be sought after. And when found, it can only humble us, not humiliate us, but humble us. Whether that discovered truth is about God, about the world, or about ourselves. Truth about God makes us realize how little and insignificant we are. Truth about the world helps us to appreciate the work that is yet to be done for its redemption and reparation. And truth about self makes us realize how limited we are and how much we need each other for survival. My dear friends, truth always humbles us. Truth always keeps us with our feet on the ground. That is why the acceptance of truth is such a difficult accomplishment. I believe that N.A.N. Dupree, in his own quiet way, had come to that understanding. And from this, we all can learn. A funeral ceremony is by no means a canonization, the canonization of a person. However, it often serves as a moment of recognition of the quality of the baptismal witness of the deceased brother or sister that is worthy of emulation by us who are still on pilgrimage. Today's gospel analogy of the Last Judgment praises the one who does anything, big or small, to alleviate the suffering of his brother or his sister on earth. I have no doubt that as a patriot, as a man of service to family and country, N.A.N. Dupree, in more ways than one, responded positively to the countless opportunities that presented themselves to be of assistance to others. He was seen as a kind and generous person, and he will be remembered for those qualities.
Of the hour news. As it happens, when it happens, wherever it happens. Local, regional, and global. Only on Q95, the big station. Q95DA.com. Right on Q, the big station.
This is your news at the top of the hour. I am Richie Farrell. In local news, Q95 FM has received information that former Director of Public Prosecution DPP Jean Festina has died. Reports indicate that the former DPP's body was found lifeless at his home at around 10:30 a.m. on Thursday morning. Mr. Festina served close to 40 years in public life and law enforcement in Dominica. He fell ill in recent times. Q95 will continue to follow this developing story and will provide more information as it becomes available. Q95 extends condolences and prayers to the family of Jean Festina. In more news, Prime Minister Gaston Brown has welcomed the news of Sunwing Travel assuming management of Jolly Beach Resort in Antigua, calling it a major boost to the tourism industry. Following a meeting on Wednesday with Rob Barrett, who took over ownership of the hotel and has kept it open since January 2016, Sunwing Travel CEO Stephen Hunter, Tourism Minister Assot Michael, Senior Ministers Sir Robin Yearwood and Molwyn Joseph Brown said that this new development shows confidence in the Antigua economy and tourism product and expressed confidence in Sunwing Travel, further boosting the industry. And two of the largest dark web marketplaces have been shut down following a landmark international law enforcement investigation. The Alphabet and Hansa sites had been associated with the trade in illicit items such as drugs, weapons, malware, and stolen data. According to Europol, there were more than 250,000 listings for illegal drugs and toxic chemicals on Alpha Bay. Hansa was seized and covertly monitored for a month before being deactivated. The agency said it believed the bust would lead to hundreds of new investigations in Europe. The capability of drug traffickers and other serious criminals around the world has taken a serious hit today, said Europol's executive director, Rob Wainwright. That's your news at the top of the hour for this time. I am Richie Farrell. Join us again at 3 p.m. for more news.
Q Top of the Hour News. As it happens, when it happens, wherever it happens. Local, regional, and global. Only on Q95, the big station. Q95DA.com. Right on Q, the big station.
Jolly's Pharmacy, your health and wellness is our passion. No wonder Jolly's Pharmacy provides the widest variety of the highest quality vitamin supplements and remedies for your lifestyle activity and nutritional needs. Take care of your body. Get the multivitamins advantage supply to enhance, promote, improve, repair, and revitalize your body. Jolly's for the complete line of preventative and curative health supplies and tonics. Rejuvenate with men's and women's one-a-day tablets. Boost concentration. Tricentrum Silver and Omega-3s to build your immune and nervous system functions. Strengthen your cardiovascular system. Boost bone health. For stamina, get all your natural balanced megavites herbal supplements. Men's daily formula for sexual energy and function. So Palmetto, the supplements to soothe joint pain. Feel like a dynamo. Get up and go. Catch back your mojo at Johnny's, Dominica's principal healthcare pharmacy. Why? Because you deserve more from a drugstore.
Introducing Jolly's Pharmacy, brand new website, www.jollies.dm. It's your time to jump the line. Shop now at jollies.dm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Jollies.dm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Visit us at www.jollies.dm. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Q95.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Q95 in the afternoon. We're here and continuing our live broadcast here at Jolly's Pharmacy, your pharmacy. And as usual, Carlton is here with me. We'll be here until 5 to 3. It is afternoon. Carlton, good afternoon to you. My friend Matt, good afternoon to you and to all our usual listeners at this time. As we did say to you, we will be connecting with you all for the week from this time, from 2 to 3. Today we are at the branch on a Great George Street. Is it Great George Street, Matt? King George Street is the other one. Right.
Yeah.
So we are at the branch close to Scotiabank. I always like to say, right up to the back pillar.
That is out of town.
Right. Close to Scotiabank.
Right.
We are at this branch and it's quite busy here at this time. And I'm not exaggerating. I am telling you, it is quite busy because what we said all along, what happens at one branch happens at the other branch. And so no branch has got preferential treatment. It's the same sales, the same ambiance, the same camaraderie, the same customer service that is going to be rendered to you because guess what? We follow the same said customer service protocol at both branches. And so you will get the very same service at both locations.
It's like a duplication, huh?
Yes. So today we are focusing on health and wellness. I just actually closed our clinic where we were doing some screenings today, free of cost.
How did that go?
Very, very, very good at the clinic today. So we were doing your blood pressure, glucose, body fat index, weight, height, all of that free of cost. And of course, you would have received the consultation based on your numbers. And so that took place from 9 to 1 this afternoon. But the health and wellness campaign still continues. We are focusing today on our minerals, vitamins, and the like. The complementary supplements that basically helps to aid the body, rejuvenate the body, resuscitate the body from key nutrients that the body may be deficient of. And so if you are listening to me and you are into fitness, you might be feeling very exhausted, you might be feeling very fatigued, you might be underweight, you might be malnourished, you might just feel like you need to give your body that extra boost. Today is the day to really capitalize on the opportunity that we've given to you and come into the store and really make an ideal purchase, selecting the ideal nutrient, vitamin supplement that would really give you that boost of energy that you would like.
Special deals today?
Special deals today. We have deals on our Mason's line of multivitamins and minerals, and most people know of the Mason's line. We also have a special promotions of 10% discount on our Quality Choice line, and the name itself for itself. You would have heard of the argument that quality has absolutely no competition, and so with a brand like this, you certainly cannot go wrong selecting the ideal nutrient beneficial product that would really meet that need that you have. As you would see, Matt, right in front of us, we're doing some sampling on some of the products from 7 Seas. And it's one of our signature brands that we have here in the store. Everybody is dressed in the 7 Seas shirt. And as we can see, the 7 Seas line has been in operation since 1935. So we're talking just about 80 years and plus that the 7 Seas line has been in operation, and it is still going strong and strong. And the 7 Seas line has found a great home in the expertise and the competence of Jolly's Pharmacy. And we are very happy that we are now the agent for the 7 Seas line.
All
so,
right.
Matt, I don't know if you want to...
Let's share some of the benefits to our many listeners of a 7 Seas coming on.
Right. So we're talking about brain power. What gives you that brain power? Your omega-3, okay, and your B vitamins in there. They are very good for cognitive development and alertness. You cannot go wrong with that. If your mind is obscured, if your mind is not functioning, then your entire body is at risk, okay? Your muscles will be strengthened with the calcium that's in there and the vitamin E, because vitamin E is very important to help with the absorption of calcium so that your bones can be more fortified, the densities can be improved, and you can actually have a better, healthier skeletal muscular system. We also talk about your bones, which we just talked about, the calcium levels, your vitamin C, your vision, and that's very, very important. And most of the 70s now are now adding lutein and vitamin A, which are very, very essential for the development and health of the retina. And you know, people have spoken about retinopathy, particularly as a major complication in those who are diabetic. Whether it's type 1 or type 2, we always say to you that you need to check your sight as every year to ensure that everything is going well. Your heart, your cardiovascular system, that is very important. The 7 C's, and 7 C's, as always said, a healthy heart is a healthy you. A big smile there, Carl. This is a very good friend of mine from Scotiabank. All right. So a healthy heart is a healthy you. If your heart is not functioning very well, you know that the probability of you living long is compromised, it's hampered, and so it's important to really take care of your heart health. And hence the reason why the omega-3 is in there. You have your key nutrients and vitamins that are also here to assist you. And your hair and skin, that's a very important component of the human physiology. And everybody wants to ensure that they have good skin. They want to ensure that their hair is healthy, particularly our females. And so, 70 truly covers your entire body. All of the key body systems, it covers it all. And so it is important that you want to really, really, truly try a 70s product. Now, one of the things that I've recognized, though, is that many times people come and they are introduced to the newer line of the 70s, and they get a bit confused, wondering if it's the real 70s, because they're accustomed to the color being yellow and black. Okay. And we say to them, like everything else, life is constant, and change must come, and it has to come. And so 70s has recognized that red is their official color, yellow is part of the color, but they have added some. So you'll find the newer line in a deeper red and a deeper orange. It is the same authentic 70s, and so it is not a generic, it is not a watered down version that we have brought to you. It is the same authentic 70s.
All right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a break for a word from our sponsors, of course, which is Johnny's Pharmacy. And I have to ask Carlton a question I've never asked of you. Never heard me ask Carlton a question. All the years we've been, he too is wondering, what is he talking about on air? So when we come back, we're going to go take a break. A word from our sponsors. We'll come back. When I come back, I'll ask Carlton that very important question.
I woke up this morning feeling real stink. I had temptations to call it sling, but I end up in Jolly's Pharmacy. Great and down Peter Street, Jolly's fix up my immune system. Got me feeling fit and strong. Now I'm ready to work. I take on any mission. If you see me working, Jolly's Pharmacy is number one. Jolly's working. We cater for everyone. Jolly's working. Boost up your immune system. Jolly's working. Dominic, boy, Father Fox. Whenever I'm in town and I'm feeling down, I head to Jolly's Pharmacy. They boost me up real quick. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Are you aware that Jolly's Pharmacy is more than just a pharmacy? Lout and Moon got the Jolly and he plenty one man ever took back eyes. Sase lave we take. Look at the wide variety of household and personal hygiene products and laundry items. Ask for hair care products from relaxers, texturizers and tints. Look how good you look now. From dark and lovely Garnier Fructis to Sesame Blue and the pill 7 color too. At Jolly's, all your baby needs are right here because your little precious bundle of joy is precious to us too. In Dominica, we have the Isle of Beauty. At Jolly's, we have aisles of splendorous beauty supplies to match your complexion to perfection. Ladies, when your monthly visitor comes knocking, Jolly's have a fresh feminine protection so you can stay free with confidence. Antiperspirants, shaving and cleansing solutions from Gillette, Ambi, Olay, or Aveeno for eczema. For total oral care, air fresheners to Febreze your atmosphere. Jigjo di Jolly Castile Van Mukuro Chrome, Epsom Salt, Ever MB powder.
Q95.
Okay, we're back and we're live at Jolly's Pharmacy. What's happening all week? Customer appreciation with Carlton Yes, sir. Carlton, here's the question I'm going to ask you. Why, how many years you in there?
Just about 6 years. I've been with Jolly's.
Jolly's.
But I've been in retail sales for almost all of my career.
Why did you choose the pharmacy? To be a pharmacist.
Why I chose to be a pharmacist? I think pharmacists chose me.
Okay.
When I was growing up, I always felt that teaching was my profession.
Okay.
I think
You
some way
ever taught
somehow.
before?
Yes. I think some way somehow. Hence the reason why I still teach on the radio every Wednesday.
Right.
I think I'm naturally a teacher, and I think that's why I'm now gravitated towards public health as my forte, so to speak. So I think pharmacy chose me, and I think I'm very happy that it chose me to make an impact in the lives of our people, to really encourage them to live healthier, more fulfilled lives, in an optimal wellness manner. And so I'm very, very happy, particularly being back in Dominica. I lived out for 12 years, and I came back. And yes, and I'm really happy that I'm back here to really give back to my nation the many things that I've learned and the experiences that I've endured.
Have I ever regretted being a pharmacist?
Never regretted. I've had many people say that to me every day. Why don't you go into medicine? Why don't you become a medical doctor? And I always said, well, you know what? If all the good pharmacists become medical doctors, what happened then? We need good pharmacists to remain in the profession to really help in that area, because an area of specialty from the medical profession, and we cannot have all our pharmacists, convert into medical doctors.
So no regret?
No regret. No regret at all.
All right. Thank you very much, Carlton.
And if I had gone into medicine, if I had become a medical doctor, I'd have gone into psychiatry.
Really?
Yes, I like psychiatry.
You want to psychoanalyze?
Yes, I like that. Again, I think it's my affinity towards people, and particularly people who are really hurting the most. And I think the most painful person is the mentally pained person. And I think hence the reason I would have chosen psychiatry.
All right. Again, we want to talk about the specials being offered here. And yes, talk to me.
Right. So we are going to have our sample. We are sampling 7 things today.
Okay, we're going to have it together.
One of my colleagues have just given me the cod liver oil orange flavor. And there is a little story about the orange flavor cod liver oil. Just about 4 or 5 years ago, it was out of the market for a period of time. Many parents were a bit, not happy because it was one of the signature products that they were using because of the flavoring that children became more adherent to wanting to take their 7 Cs. And the reason why it was taken up from the market at the time, was because of the temperatures in the tropics was affecting the efficacy of the product. And they had to reformulate it to bring it back into the market. And so it's back now on our shelves, the orange flavor cod liver oil. And what they've done, they've made it into a syrup flavor.
Children like it.
And the good thing is that it has no sugar. The flavoring is really the orange that gives it that taste.
So I'm going to have it for the first time.
So we're going to taste it, right?
Yes.
We're going to have a sample of it. And so there is no dental caries in this. There is no chances of obesity because of the sugar content. And so I think your child and my child will truly appreciate this great 7 Cs.
It's really good.
Really, really good. And there's no exaggeration to this. When you give this to your child, I suspect you may have to hide the bottle.
And you have some samples today.
Right. You may have to hide the bottle because guess what? That child may want to creep up and go and drink the whole bottle, and we don't advocate that because we're talking about an abuse. And so we want to make sure that the bottle is sealed and placed in a very safe area that the child doesn't want to take it and think it. They should drink all of it like juice, right?
So you advise drinking this daily?
Daily. We normally recommend twice a day. Twice a day dosage, particularly for children who are above 10 years old. That is when their brain really needs to be more receptive to information. And so most of these children would be in their primary years of learning, and that's the age you really want to capitalize on. You want to really ensure that the children learn as much, that the brain can retain. And so the omega-3, which is part of the 7 Cs orange formula, is there. We still do have the original formula, so if you want the original formula, that is still available to you while stock lasts. But Matt, I want to also say to our listeners that You may have missed Monday. You may have missed Tuesday. You may have missed Wednesday, and you are still in doubt of coming into Rose or coming to Jolly on today, Thursday. We're saying to you, you've not missed much. Why? Because we have made the sale basically transit to one day, to the next day, to the next day, to the next day. So if you missed Monday's sale, which was baby and child, the items are still on the shelves at the same discounted prices. If you've missed yesterday and Tuesday, which was household, the items are still on the shelves as I speak. Right now, we have dishes for as low as $4.
Let me see that. Let me see that. Yeah.
And good quality dishes. $4 for dish. $4 and $3. $4, $5.
You have the bigger ones for $5. Yeah.
$5 per dish. Many of our housewives, they're very possessive of their dishes. People come to their homes, they might give somebody some lunch, and they say, bring back my dish for me, My mother's like that. My mother just came to my house and said, I have about 4 dishes for her. So I think I need to buy some dishes for her today. Because, this is something that all these people always kind of forget to bring back. And so right. And so today might be the day where you need to replenish the cupboard and get back those dishes. And so you can actually walk in with $20 and walk out with 5 big dishes right now. And I mean, that holds quite a bit of food, a lot of food.
And really durable.
And it's very durable. It's Rubbermaid. It's really good microwave, usable dishes as we speak. And I can tell you that they come in blue, they come in white, and they come with basically a colorless cover. And those are available. You can actually get your ketchup, your Mabel ketchup for $2. So you into the business of barbecuing, you're into the business of selling fried chicken.
You say only $2, huh?
$2. You have a small restaurant in Roseau. Now is the time to really come. You pick up, you pick up 10 bottles of ketchup. That's $20. You really cannot go wrong. And hence the reason why we've always said, when you do take advantage of our Customer Appreciation Week, we are giving you deals that are second to none. Deals that are not comparable to any other place in Roseau. And hence the reason why everyone rushes to the Jolly stores when there is Customer Appreciation Week. Because we really recognize we absorbed the cost. We absorbed, a lot to basically give back to you really, really amazing prices. When, Rosa, can you go to a store right now and get a dish of that quality for $4 and $5? That's the question I'm asking. And I can, if you truly have an honest conscience, you will say it's absolutely nowhere. And hence the reason why you must actually shop at Jolly's Pharmacy.
I see you still have the bathroom mats as well.
The bathroom mats are still available. And what I like about these sizes is that you can put them right in front of your shower. And, many times, you might be the one, I'm like that. I will wipe myself in the shower, in the bathroom, and then come out. But when you have children, they actually come out with all the water, and they wet up the whole floor. And, most times the housewives are mad at that. You actually have a very absorbent mat, very wide, that is right placed. You can put it in your washing machine to wash. Beautiful color. I like this lilac and white color.
Yeah,
very pretty.
Yeah.
Right? And this is wide enough to put right in front of the shower. You step out, you can wipe yourself, and and you have it. And you can get this at a very, very good discounted price while stock lasts. All right? So, some baby products. So you
still have some toys, you still have some books, math, readiness, math, computation, reading comprehension, of course, common entrance right around the corner, meaning there are some students now preparing for the next year.
Yeah. And, I mean, most of the students and pupils are at summer schools right now. Many of them are still engaged in schoolwork. Those who are not at summer school, you want to really keep them engaged. You don't want them to go back to school and their brains are so tired because they've never gone back in the book. And you want high achievers. You want students and pupils that truly can think critically and can analyze information and be ready for the classroom. And so those books are available. They you can write in them. The students can actually just begin to do the exercises right in the book, and you really cannot go wrong with that. And I mean, Matt, I think you're going to be on Facebook on the Jolly's page. So, you know, your girlfriend might be wondering, you know, why advertise Matt, you know, so much? You know, people hear his voice, but they may not know who is this guy, and they want to know him. And now you know. And on the Jolly's Facebook page, our newly crowned ambassador. Oh. The man himself. The man himself. I think my brother. Crew on Q95, good afternoon. What's popping? What's going on? What's popping? What's going on, huh? The big one. Big one. Yeah, man. Kaboom. Kaboom, kaboom. So once you hear that kaboom, I think it tells you who is in the house. Who that guy is. I hear his voice very regularly with you. And Matt, he's wearing. And Matt, I'm sorry that I didn't get a 70 shirt. It's okay, but I'm wearing red. I'm wearing red. Yes. I know you like that color too. But I do like the color. I do like the color. And you know, Mystic has been using the UFit, the Fitness University gym. Oh, I think he looks like that. Look at what's happening in that shirt. You know? He has a curve top. He has 6 pack or 12 pack. Well, I think Mr. has 16, you know. Yeah. I think it's a 16 pack he has there. All right. You know, so again, credit to Fitness University, the best gym fitness university on Dominica. You cannot go wrong. But you saw something happening at the other side, right? We are by the Scotia branch area. I like to say Scotia branch because if you remember, right now. Now, you saw this big black spot at the store. The new corner? It's a new corner. All right. Do you know what's happening there? I suspect something about cosmetics. Oh. I'm paying attention. Yeah, I mean, but your family is jolly. Yes. So, I mean, you know what's happening. So we are opening the biggest, brightest, most modern, most innovative, most attractive customer service center in Dominica. And I said what will happen there? It's a customer service center. It's not going to be a wash your foot and come kind of a place. You just pick up a lipstick and you go out the door. You will come in, you can come in. The products can be sampled on you. You can walk in any meeting with your face well done, sampled by the makeup artist and expert of Jolly's Pharmacy. And it's going to be something new. Many of us, we have seen that at Cape Shepherd in Barbados on Broad Street. You know, you walk through Cape Shepherd and you see people sit down and the guys putting makeup and they're amazed. They leave out going to a meeting feeling very confident. And this is what you're going to be seeing happening at Jolly's. It's going to be second to none. It's going to be an experience that has never been experienced in Dominica. The security is in the bag. It is, you know, it's like, how do I put it? It's like, the door is like slightly open. I'm peeping through, but it's not fully open as yet. So it's a peep through right now, but it's going to open with a huge bang. And you know that the Jolly's brand stands for credibility, quality, loyalty, sustainability, and the good customer service experience. And I like to use the word experience because many of us, when we get bad experiences in places, we don't go back. And guess what? We do not keep it to ourselves. We go back and we tell free and for our friends what we experience. Right? So that is why we stress a lot on customer service experience. That when you leave and you walk out the door, you remember that experience. And you can go back and you can tell all your friends, all your family, the experience that you had at Jolly's Pharmacy. And this is what we are always endeavoring to do in the best manner all of the time. I'll tell you what we see right in front of us when we're standing there.
a lot of baby items.
Yeah, and that reminds me that I may get a bursted if I don't pick up a few items.
Okay.
I have been procrastinated all week, running up and down like a bee, and I have not made my own shopping for my baby.
Okay.
And so, Matt, I truly will not let that sale go on without actually taking my basket and picking out my items. So you can get...
You're a daddy now, you know that.
So you can get a Fair Baby shower gel for your baby at $5.90. Now, $5.90, that is not even discounted price. And so that is what the price was, and the price has been discounted. So you're actually going to pay much less while the stock lasts.
Some of the baby items we have on the shelf, tell us about that.
So we have
some other.
I'm telling you, you can get your baby shampoo, you can get your baby powder, you can get your baby conditioner and shampoo, right? You can get your baby lotion, you can get your baby oil cream, right?
Go ahead.
You can get your baby oil cream, you can get your baby shower wash, all right? And so those are available right now while stock lasts. You really, truly cannot go wrong. You can also get your baby air freshener. You know, you may have a room and it's a little, it may not be as ventilated as you'd want it, because, you know, people always, use a lot of teddy bears. And you can really get the air freshener for that. Right. You can also, get your lullaby diapers right now and your Dockies diapers at, again, very, very attractive rates. You may have your elderly person at home. You may have somebody who might be under what we call palliative care. They might be suffering with cancer or something like that, and they might be bedridden. They may not have much of an energy. We do have the Ensure and the Glucona energy drinks that are, and when we say energy drinks, we're talking about protein drinks, all right? They do not contain no caffeine, all right? And those are available right now while stock lasts. And you can get huge discounts on these items. You can also get good discounts on
I'm going to take a break now, Carlton, and go back to Master Control, Q95 Radio, and come back right here.
At Johnny's Pharmacy, your health and wellness is our passion. No wonder Johnny's Pharmacy provides the widest variety of the highest quality vitamin supplements and remedies for your lifestyle activity and nutritional needs. Take care of your body. Get the multivitamins advantage supply to enhance, promote, improve, repair, and revitalize your body. Johnny's for the complete line of preventative and curative health supplies and tonics. Rejuvenate with men's and women's one-a-day tablets. Boost concentration. Tricentrum Silver and omega-3s to build your immune and liver system functions, strengthen your cardiovascular system, boost bone health. For stamina, get all your natural balanced megavites herbal supplements, men's daily formula for sexual energy and function, Saw Palmetto, plus supplements to soothe joint pain, feel like a dynamo, get up and go, catch back your mojo at Jolly's, Dominica's principal healthcare pharmacy. Why? Because you deserve more from a drugstore.
Introducing Jolly's Pharmacy, brand new website, www.jollies.dm. It's your time to jump the line. Shop now at jollies.dm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Jollies.dm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Visit us at www.jollies.dm. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Q95.
Okay, we're back here at Jolly's Pharmacy. We're here with Carlton, and it's happening live as we speak. Of course, a number of customers coming in and taking advantage of everything on sale here. Carlton is going to tell us and continue to tell us all the great deals that we have at Jolly's Pharmacy.
Right. And as I did indicate it before, as I did say, this earlier on that we are focusing on health and wellness today, and so many of the products that we are showcasing today are of that benefit. And I see one of the key products that is on sale, and that is glucosamine conjointin, and it's one of the products that is widely prescribed by our doctors here, and it's one of the products that we see advertised on the television in many brand names. Bioflex, you might see that brand on the TV, but it's actually glucosamine conjointin, and it's actually a combination supplement that basically, one, reduces inflammation in the joint, and secondly, replenishes cartilage level. Cartilage level is at what we call the kyang. That sits right between the bones. That's supposed to act as a cushion to prevent friction of the bones. So if the bones were to rub together, you're going to have inflammation.
What would cause that, though?
Well, as we age, our cartilage levels can begin to reduce, particularly in our females, because of the estrogen reduction in their body. Their bone density reduces, and so therefore they are more predisposed to skeletal muscular inflammation. And so that is why we normally recommend women that are above 50. That is why we would find more women walk with canes than men walk with canes, because of the reduction of estrogen. And so that is why it's important that glucosamine conjointin plays a huge role in ensuring that the cartilage levels are replaced and replenished, and at the same time, too, the inflammation is reduced.
So both men and women can take that?
Both men and women. You find that the men who use the gym, they tend to have a bit more of a wear and tear of the muscles, and even a bit of strain on the joints. And so even that group of people can use glucosamine. We do have the collagen, which is another form of supplement that basically helps to replace cartilage levels as well. That is also available. And collagen is a natural substance that is formed in the body, but sometimes you don't have enough. And this is what when you eat fashion, what we call fashion, this is what it gives us, collagen. And so it's one of the supplements that also helps to rebuild cartilage levels. And that is available too, as well, at a very reduced price. If you are interested in your typical vitamin supplements, you know, your vitamin D, your vitamin B complex, your kelp, your lecithin, your St. John's wort, you know, all of those preparations, all of those supplements are at reduced prices as we speak. You might be suffering with a colon problem whereby you have infrequent bowel movement, and you are always prone to constipation. You may need a fiber laxative. It's one of the first choices that we would normally recommend rather than a stimulating laxative. And this would really help. And you can get this today at a 10% discount. You know, so even particularly those people who are immobile, the people who are not movable, they're in one place in bed, they are more prone to get constipation. And so the natural fibers are very good for them. And so that would be a group of people that would, you know, this product would really help, and would help with their digestive system. And one of the added benefits about fiber is that fiber helps to regulate your sugar levels. It also helps to reduce your bad cholesterol, the LDL, and it also helps to reuptake your metabolic rate. As you know, most of us, once we get into our 40s, our metabolic rate begins to decline. And you need you need a boost to really get you to help to burn the excess sugars and the excess fat that is in the body.
All right, so we're learning a lot here. It's like a university on wheels here at Jolly's Pharmacy, and everybody is coming in. And you too should take advantage of what's going on here this week. It's Customer Appreciation Week. Are we missing out on the aisle, in this side? Yes.
But that is why we always, that is why I've been stressing that our services are second to none. When you do leave a Jolly's Pharmacy, you leave educated. We do not, and that's why I'm doing all of this. It's not merely about just telling you about, you know, you should come and get a vitamin, but I can really, in a sense,
it's not about selling.
Right. No. Liquefy why you need this vitamin, what it's going to really do for you. And this is why we always say that you will get an experience that is second to none. You'll get an experience that really is teachable and is impacting, and you can retain and go back with an information to share with somebody.
A lot of ladies' products here as well.
Well, tomorrow will be the days for ladies. I know ladies will be going crazy. I know all the hairdressers will be in town tomorrow, because tomorrow is actually the day where we'll be focusing on all of the cosmetics and hair care products. And you know, our Dominican women and everybody, women in particular, they spend a lot of money on hair. I think if a woman were to do an audit and tell you,
Usually they don't.
and tell you the amount of money that they have spent in a year on their hair, their husbands might even maybe, be mad with them.
Yes.
And so it's a big industry, and we too are always in the position to provide all of the varieties of products for the hair, skin, and nails. And tomorrow, Friday, we will be focusing on cosmetics and hair care. Tomorrow as well, in the afternoon, we'll be having the team and a flow with us for a huge happy hour where we'll be giving, and I will be giving, lots of gift certificates at that venue tomorrow.
All right, we continue, and we have a few more minutes remaining here at Jolly's Pharmacy. Because we wrap it up at about 5 to 2 to 3 this afternoon. We'll be back here again tomorrow to give you all the good news. And I'm hearing that something is happening on Saturday.
Yes, we are having a huge day on Saturday, and it's actually our way of promoting health and wellness. We've seen a spike in obesity on Dominica, whereby, people are not taking advantage of our great weather that we have, and may not be exercising as they should. And that means that many people, the carbohydrate levels are very high. The fats and oil levels are very high, and we're encouraging people to move and to get themselves in shape.
That's
and hence
important.
the reason why we are opening our gym on Saturday, free of cost, to our patrons, our clients, our customers, for them to use our gym for free on Saturday. As I have said, the gym will be open for free, but we expect people to be mannerly, we expect people to respect each other, and we expect people to be courteous in the gym, at the gym. We don't expect people to be treating the gym like it's a fish market. So we expect people to patronize the services that we'll be rendering to them, but we want people to as well adhere to our rules and regulations and make sure that we have a smooth service on Saturday.
But Saturday will be free, but would you expect some education will be given, information about cost going forward?
Our fitness experts will be there. They will be there to answer your questions as it relates to where do you begin. Because many times people want to embark on an exercise regimen and they don't know where to start. Sometimes they begin and they're not consulted, and time you wink right, they might be hypertensive. They just get up and decide to go and run a mile, and you end up having complications. So we always make sure that your blood pressure is normalized, your blood glucose level is normalized before you even embark on an exercising program. And this is the kind of information that will be given to you on Saturday, along with you utilizing our service. As well, to many people are into pets. I have a cat, into cats and dogs and, different pets that become family to you.
They become part of you.
Right, they become part of you. And on Saturday as well will be our pet day. So we call it, we branded Care for Your Pet Day. All right? So it's a day when you really care for your pet. You can get your dog food, your cat food. You can, stop giving your cat or your dog food in a little butter, an old butter dish, and you don't even wash it. Now is the time to really come, and you can really buy a designated dish or plate for your dog and your cat, and really treat them with the dignity that they deserve. I wash my cat thing. It has 2 areas, one for water, one for its dry food, and you treat the animal as you would want to be treated.
Yes.
And so we've called Saturday for the pet area, care for your pet day, and we expect you to come and really take advantage on all of the products that we'll be having.
And you do carry a lot of products.
We do. The chin, the bones, the worm medicines, the medication, the preparation for their energy levels, everything that you can think about for your pet, they will be available on Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday is the last day. Come Monday, it will be business as usual.
So take advantage today.
Right, and the product will not be at the prices that they have been throughout the course of the week.
Just remind us, guys, and of course, before we go, what are the specials today? I mean, you still have a few hours. We close at what time?
We close at 6 o'clock today, and that is both locations at 6 o'clock all week long. So today you can get your huge discounts on multivitamins, minerals, and other OTCs, other healthcare products. And all the products are labeled on the shelf. You will see a sale tag right in the front of the product, and this will indicate to you that this line of products is on sale. So you can get your Mason's multivitamins and minerals. You can get your Quality Choice multivitamins and minerals at very attractive prices while stock lasts. Not forgetting tomorrow, Friday, is a huge day here for us. It's our cosmetic and hair care day, and we expect people to be camping outside of the pharmacy come 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, waiting for the doors to be open to really, truly rush in and get your product. Not forgetting your dishes are available. They are still there. We close at 6. If you are in your office, if you are driving, if you're on a bus, and you're wondering, boy, do I have a chance? Yes, you do. You still have the chance to really come in and take advantage of a steal of a deal right now.
And don't forget to come in and get your sample. We're talking 7 C's at this time. I was lucky to have a little sample there. And Tesco still have that.
It still has that taste. And you know what? Even when the broadcast began, I was kind of feeling like I was losing my voice for a little bit. And I can tell you that my voice feels like it's back intact. And I'm not, my salivary glands are not as dried as they were when I began. And so I can tell you that the active ingredients in that 7 C's orange flavor is truly rejuvenating, is truly working. And I can tell you that you cannot lose us. But you recognize that our pharmacy area has changed.
Has changed, and I recognize, of course, a lady I've seen for many, many years. She's still here. She's still packed.
And of course, in your pharmacy.
Yes.
Very, very faithful and loyal staff. And that is Miss Giddens. She has a special touch with the elderly people. They really, really love her. They speak very highly of her. And I want to really recognize her this afternoon. But you recognize when you do come and you stand at the front counter, what do you see? You see Jolly's Pharmacy, and then you see your partner in health.
In health.
Right? And you didn't read your partner in business.
No, in health.
You didn't read your partner in transaction. You didn't read your partner in making money. You read that we are your partners in health. And this is what defines us. We believe in information. We believe in education that transforms minds. Mervin, well, come and say hello, no, man.
You always be voice of the radio, eh? He's a big fan of Jolly.
He's the epitome of a healthy, middle-aged man. And I've said it to Mervin that I want to look and feel like him. One of his signatures, he has great teeth.
Yes.
You know, and I mean, yeah, you want to enrich Mervin that day.
How you doing? How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. So, Mervin, just tell them what a bit of the secret. What keeps you going and looking as great as you do?
Well, Carlton, what I must say is that what I'm doing is actually living what you call a natural life. And I eat more of everything that's grew more than anything else. Wow. Yeah, no processed food, nothing in a can, nothing in bottles. As a matter of fact, I'm at a stage right now where I can say I maybe have no fat in my body. Wow.
But this is the trend. Everybody's talking about that trend. I mean, yesterday we had a huge show on that, and I am going to do my 7-day detox.
Okay. Yeah, as a matter of fact, right now I'm maybe on what you call a detox for the past maybe 8-9 days.
Wow.
And in terms of, because I'm working late lately,
yes,
and I do more of drinking stuff, blending and drinking stuff than I eat cooked food.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the detox program has admonished that when I'm on it, I can only do fruits and vegetables alone and liquid.
I like a liquid diet, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
alone. And I mean, Sister Nat gave me that program. My boss himself said he's going to embark on it. He wants a copy. And so it's becoming almost like an infection that everybody recognizes that, optimal health is really the way to go. Because guess what? You might really invest in what you find that is pleasurable and nice tasting now. But when your health begins to decline, all of your money is gone. All what you put is gone.
Really and truly. So that's why I come back to the saying that your health is your wealth.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you don't have health,
You have to invest in it
Oh
right
yes, that's what it is. And if you don't, you have to make it turn along somehow at a certain stage, because there's a time when you're ready to make that change, it might just be too late. Yeah.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. All right. All right, continue.
Right.
Thank you very much.
You
Yes.
recognize that we've modernized the store.
We're going to have a similar space like that at the other store in a subsequent time. But you recognize that everything, there's a beautiful TV place. Everything is in glass. You're not seeing no wood and things. And this is the new look. And this is what makes us so, we're revolving. We are always innovating. We're always looking at ways of improving our services. A consultation room is right there as well. And so no longer do you have to stay and you're free to tell somebody you want some money after pee, or you want something for your infection. You can really pull over one of our staff. We can bring you in the room and we can talk. In privacy. The rooms are sealed and nobody on the outside can hear what you say. This is very important to us. And this is what makes us so unique. Right, well, thank you very much. We have to wrap it up at this time and go back to Q95, the big station. The news is next. We'll see you tomorrow.
At Johnny's Pharmacy, your health and wellness is our passion. No wonder Johnny's Pharmacy provides the widest variety of the highest quality vitamin supplements and remedies for your lifestyle activity and nutritional needs. Take care of your body. Get the multivitamins advantage supply to enhance, promote, improve, repair, and revitalize your body. Johnny's for the complete line of preventative and curative health supplies and tonics. Rejuvenate with men's and women's 1-a-day tablets. Boost concentration. Tricentrum Silver and omega-3s to build your immune and nervous system functions, strengthen your cardiovascular system, boost bone health. For stamina, get all your natural balanced megavites herbal supplements, men's daily formula for sexual energy and function, soap palmetto plus supplements to soothe joint pain. Feel like a dynamo, get up and go, catch back your mojo at Johnny's, Dominica's principal healthcare pharmacy. Why? Because you deserve more from a drugstore.
Introducing Jolly's Pharmacy, brand new website, www.jollies.dm. It's your time to jump the line. Shop now at jollies.dm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Jollies.dm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Visit us at www.jollies.dm. Jollies Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Q, top of the hour news. As it happens, when it happens, wherever it happens. Local, regional, and global. Only on Q95, the big station. Q95DA.com. Right on Q, the big station.
Welcome to Q95 News at the top of the hour. 25 high school students are currently engaged in a 2-week disaster risk management summer day camp at the Office of Disaster Management. The camp, held annually, started on Monday and will run through to July 28th. According to a release, program officer at the Office of Disaster Management, Donaldson Frederick, is coordinating the camp's activities on behalf of the disaster office and has been assisted by a team of young leaders, most of whom are graduates of the CERT training. The digital era is here to stay, but many still lack the skills needed to get ahead in the internet economy. A survey on internet security and trust found that a significant percentage of internet users do not trust the internet enough to conduct financial transactions online. Even among those willing to embrace digital commerce, many face another barrier: digital literacy. Rhea Yao-Ching, executive director of the Covello Foundation, points out that the problem is more acute in Latin America and in particular the Caribbean, where an increasing number of citizens and businesses are now coming online. And former U.S. football star and actor O.J. Simpson has told a parole board, "I've done my time," as he asked for release after 9 years in a Nevada prison. Simpson, who was acquitted for a double murder in 1995, is serving time for armed robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, and 11 other charges. The sentence, which carries a maximum of 33 years, stems from a 2007 confrontation at a Las Vegas hotel. Simpson, 70, had said he was only trying to reclaim his possessions. The former Hall of Fame running back was found guilty in 2008, exactly 13 years to the date after he was famously acquitted for the killings of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman. And that's your news at the top of the hour. Join us again at 4 p.m. for another news at the top of the hour.
Q Top of the Hour News. As it happens, when it happens, wherever it happens. Local, regional, and global. Only on Q95, the big station. Q95DA.com. Right on, Q.